tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day. Na, 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 na.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me.
Oh.
My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, it's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
On and supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
you are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Nah, I knew that was going to be
But
the answer.
I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. But I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so I can come over.
Come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
I'm not. There we go. Good morning. Welcome to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with me every weekday morning here on NBC News, TNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, on Music, Tiki Life, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? Well, I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness, because there's no gossip here, no scandal, and no K words, no Kanye talk at all, formerly or now. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests. If you missed my fabulous interview with the icon and legendary impressionist Rich Little, you'll have to go on my YouTube channel, free subscribe, and you'll get all 1,113 shows now. This is my 617th consecutive week on the air. And I'm super glad that the people who said a show about hope and happiness, something good, balancing out all the bad news out there, wouldn't last. They were wrong, and I'm still here. And I'm so delighted to have a repeat guest this morning. You'll remember her from a very special series that we did together in response to the killing of George Floyd. And it was called It's Not Black and White, or Is It? Her name is Akuyoe Graham. She's my satellite sister. She's a humanitarian. She's the founder of this amazing organization that I absolutely endorse 1,059.8%. It is really making a difference, helping heal and eradicate the shame and blame that goes along with the juvenile system. It is such a pleasure to have her back, anchoring Black History Month. Please do welcome Akuyoe Graham. Good morning, my darling.
Good morning, beloved, beautiful Dr. Marissa. Thank you so much for having me back on your extraordinary show. It's always such a pleasure to be with you.
I have to have you at least once a year, and it's not that, you're representative of Black History Month at all. I don't like it when people, say, what do Chinese women think about? Because I'm not necessarily a representative of all of them, certainly not the ones that are a little more shy and subservient, but I absolutely know that for this particular topic of honoring and celebrating and anchoring the whole intent behind Black History Month, you are definitely my educator on that. So I do love having you on. It's a good excuse to have you on too.
Oh, and we always have so much fun. Before I know it, the time has completely gone. It's like, what?
Every time. And I don't know, last time you came on, if I had already made it a practice, but for the last at least a year, we have been starting every show with breakfast with my guest. And I take a bite, or we take a bite of our gratitude sandwich. So it's a blissipline, a good life habit that we do every single morning on the air. So I'm going to start the top of the bun is 8 things that we are specifically grateful for that's outside of ourselves. And then the bottom of the bun is 8 things that we like about ourselves inside. So inside. So, and Frank, my fabulous sound engineer, sometimes participates. People who are in the
love stream, as I call it, or my cashew gallery. They also participate when they get here. And so I am grateful that our beloved teacher, big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, his topic yesterday was happiness is my job. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's my life. But I got a nice, huge smile when he saw me in the audience. I'm going to have to go clip that, because just to see the love, you know, when someone recognizes you in love like that, it's just priceless. So anyways, I'm grateful for the topic, and I'm grateful for my big brother. That's 2. Your turn.
Okay, well, I am grateful to be here with you this morning. I'm grateful for our satellite sisterhood. I really am. That we recognize each other, that we know who we each are. And I'm grateful for the love that we get to participate in. So I think that was 2 as well.
All right. We're up to 4. I am grateful for just life, and the planets didn't crash into each other last night, and I have a new day. I have some things planned, but I just know that I can't wait to see what good happens today.
I love that. So following your lead, I am also grateful for divine order, you know, because when you think about it, it's in one of Shakespeare's plays, everything is in divine order. The sun is in its orbit, the moon, the stars, everything. We here on planet Earth, we keep spinning. And so divine order, the oceans are where they are. You know, they haven't overtaken the planet. It's extraordinary. So I am grateful for divine order.
I am grateful that I know that every single person, all 8 billion of us, I'm glad we're at the number 8 now, are one of a kind, wonderful. There's not one throwback in the bunch. And we all have, excuse me, unique talents, gifts, and abilities. That knowing, and I'll know that for you, even if you don't feel it, not you, but anybody listening now or later, that is the truth with a capital T.
That's right. And I am grateful for my family, all of my family, even the crazy ones. I'm grateful for it all. What an opportunity to love, to forgive. I'm just grateful for it, for each and every single one.
And I'm going to wrap it up with, I'm grateful that we have technology to allow us to do this, to do so many things. I during meditation, I'm going to write an article. Actually, I'm going to make I got the inspiration to make a new film about the AI, the aggravating, irritating side of technology. Before we think it's the answer to everything, but you know, obviously it's funny and not funny. I think people are getting a little bit too, you know, their panties all in a bundle about AI taking over life, which is kind of silly. But yeah, I'm grateful that we do have the helpful portion of technology.
Yes.
And
And
go ahead.
One more. Okay. I am grateful for the artists that I get to work with at Spirit Awakening Foundation, and the artists that I get to work with on my film. Really grateful for their talents, their gifts, their love and support. Very grateful for it.
And shout out and send my love to Pluto. All right, let's go to the bottom of the bun, which is my way of forcing you to exercise your ability to self-care, self-love, and self-soothe, which I believe is the foundation of good mental health, instead of reaching for something outside of yourself to make you feel better. So in order to do that, we talk about and highlight things that you like about yourself. And what I love you to do is to practice this, because before bed is when I want you to. That's why it's the bottom of the book. Because if you can fall asleep not thinking about, I didn't finish this, I didn't do anything, who done me wrong, and instead say, I like that I am funny. and when that is going to help me fall asleep easier than if I'm angry about myself. So, and I want to say good morning to Sci-Fi Mommy. It's nice to see you, and you get to participate in the appreciations. What do you like about yourself, Sci-Fi Mommy, besides that you're a Trekkie fan? I can see that. You'll get along with our big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith. He is a Trekkie fan. Did you know that about?
No, he's a Trekkie?
Oh my gosh, he's like huge Trekkie.
Really? I did not know.
You know. All right. So, what do you like about yourself, Akuyoe?
You know, I will be very honest. I really love how I look, you know, and for me to be able to say that, sister, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. And so now I appreciate every nook and cranny of my existence. And yeah, I just love it. I am grateful, grateful, grateful for it.
Yes, and for those of you who don't know the story, this is huge for her because there was a time when she would, obviously as a reflection of the ridicule or the bullying and how she felt about her color of her skin, she would look down and put her hands in her pocket and sort of, you know, be under the radar of notification or notice because of how she felt. So I honor that you are loving yourself in the way that you look that honors who.
Right.
Yeah. So I know, and I'm going to get emotional because I am also with you there. I've never looked in the mirror with such appreciation as I do now at myself, which is huge as well, because I come from a place where I would half jokingly say, I may look good with clothes on, but when I take them off, guys will run away with their hair on fire, which was a horrible thing to say about myself. But I honestly felt that way about myself and the way I look. And something happened when I was in Australia where that began to just melt away. It certainly does help that I have done the necessary changes in behaviors and habits to release some weight. That was, you know, adding to the fuel of I don't like the way that I look myself. But for the first time, I'm not bashing the way I look that my mother did and my husband did. And so that the ownership, there's nothing better than liking who you are 88% of the time. I'm telling you, it is better than any drug and any food, any guy, and whatever it is that you think floats your boat. This feeling of being self-loving, I think we need to do a commercial for that. I think I just did the commercial for it.
You know, Lucille Ball apparently said, I read a quote that said, was attributed to her, that it starts with loving yourself. Without that, she said, you can't do anything. You can't make anything happen. You can't be really successful. And I think she's right, because when we love ourselves, we are then, you know, in concert with ourselves. We are one. We are moving in the same direction, because I think it's like being a house divided. You know, there you are, you live in your body, it's who you are. And yet if I'm not with myself, if I'm not appreciating, if I don't love myself, then that's the message the self is getting, you know, and that is a house divided. So to finally be, you know, for us to be at this moment where, you know, I can look in the mirror and appreciate every nook and cranny, as I said, just feels so good and right on time.
I'm getting a funny visual of seeing myself as an English muffin with all of my nooks and crannies. But it is so true, and it is not a message. You know, if you're just tuning in, wondering what's going on in the studio, this is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get the House with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. And my guest today is Akuyoe Graham. She's my repeat many-time guest because I love her so much. She is my satellite sister. And we're anchoring Black History Month, but we're trying to get through breakfast right now. And breakfast is a combination of gratitude and appreciation. But I'm glad that we are starting with this because my favorite saying in the world, Akuyoe, is from an African American. It's anonymous, but it does say African American saying, and it says, "When there is no enemy within, no one outside can hurt me."
Ooh, isn't that delicious? Wow.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And I will go out on a limb and say, if 88% of us on the planet loved ourselves 88% of the time, there would be no war.
That's right.
There would be no racism.
There
would be no prejudice. There would be no war. There would be hate. Well, there would be 12% hate. But most of the time, what would the world be like? Well, I know what the world would be like. It would be a magnification of the love that we feel for each other.
That's right.
Right?
That's
and the people that we love and the organizations that we work with and the work that we do, which is 88% of the time magnificent. So just like, like that, what's that commercial, and then she told 8, and then 8 told 8, and 8 told 8, and it just continues to go. So that's my dream. I had a dream this morning. It all starts.
I love that quote. It's so, so true. So I dare say a lot of the conflicts we are witnessing on the planet is projections, and comes from a deep-rooted dissatisfaction with ourselves, and then we project it onto others, and it instigates violence and all kinds of discord, and I love it. Thank you for sharing that quote.
You're very, very welcome. All right, and let's see, where were we? Appreciation. We both, I think, like that just sums it up on appreciation, the self-love that we have in every nook and cranny. There's at least 4 nook and crannies each. So just so that we have some time to get to the topic, our breakfast is going to run into the topic. Well, it actually is a great thing.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for joining us for breakfast.
That was delicious breakfast.
I promise that if you do continue this good life habit or #Blissipline, as I stole from Big Brother, you will sandwich your day in the most possible way. Or you can just come here on the show. We'll do it every week. Thanks so much. All righty. The topic of the day is anchoring Black History Month as we come to the end of this month to ensure that the intent of the month is carried through and continues so that we're not just, we don't think about this until next February again. Also, Black Women History Month is next month. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Yes, I know March is Women's History Month. I didn't know it was Black Women's History Month.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Well, I'm all for that.
Yes. And I want to take what you said about projection, because I've also been thinking very much of this. The way that people unintentionally or inadvertently take their biases or their prejudices or their BS belief systems or bullshit talkie about others of a different race
Mhm.
and create this anxiety that we're seeing right now. The title of the another short film that I think I want to do is called From Melting Pot to Boiling Pot.
Mm.
And we're seeing it right now because, and not necessarily in the Black History Month frame, but if you think about what's happening with Gaza and Israel, and I've never seen such anti-Semitism
Mhm.
I am seeing now in our country
Yes.
that has traditionally been a very embracing of
Yes.
that nation. And
Mhm.
it brings me back to when COVID happened and it came from China and the backlash against anyone that looked Chinese,
Mhm.
or I remember a point where some of the bad things that were happening for people either catfishing or stealing money or the schemes, and they identified Nigeria as a
Yeah.
place that a lot of that was happening, and therefore anybody that looked Nigerian
Yeah.
was a problem or someone to be
Mhm.
afraid of. So our we say we're a melting pot in America. We say that we welcome Statue of Liberty,
Mhm.
tired and weary, equal rights, one nation under God. And boy, are we seeing the antithesis
Yeah.
of the ideal called America.
Mhm.
And I'm getting tingles right now, so I know that this isn't me talking, that this is truly one of the things that we are faced with, not to make it a problem, but identifying, shining a light so that light and air and oxygen can get to that place of infection.
Mhm.
That's
Right.
that's the only time I look at stuff that I don't like looking at, right?
Mhm.
Because
Yes.
we have to. So I just wanted to know what you thought of that.
Well, you've said a lot, and it is all happening right now in this country and around the world, really. And I think it's going to require each of us. It begins with each of us doing our inner work, to exercise and heal the places within ourselves where there's a sense of being separate from one another, or making someone the other, and to finally recognize that violence upon violence is not a solution to anything. You know, um, I was talking to someone the other day, and I said, I have this vision, beloved sister. I have a vision that one day humans are gonna be looking back and say, "Wow, you mean to say there was a time when if there was a conflict, they would send their daughters and their sons to war to kill one another to resolve the conflict?" That's just so insane. And I know it sounds simplistic. However, when you think about it, that's what we do. There's a conflict, and then we take our children, send them off to go kill each other, to resolve that conflict. That's barbarity, and so it's going to require each of us to do the work that it takes to heal the level of violence within each of us. We are all capable of it. I mean, just let someone flick a finger at me when they drive past me or something, and and when that happens, I stop and go, okay, so that's inside of you. That's inside, and that person just brought it out, so you can let it go and heal it, and I think we've reached that critical point where those of us that are willing must do our work. We are being called to do this work, to take a stand for true peace. True peace. And peace is not just the absence of war. You know, peace is harmony, the realization of harmony within each of us, so that we can be that presence with one another and out in the world. As you said earlier, if each of us really had the courage to love and accept ourselves, it would be the end of all of this discord. And it's true. So it begins with us doing our work and our leaders having the courage to do things that are in alignment with peace, in alignment with harmony. It's going to require courage. As our beloved Dr. Michael said yesterday, can you imagine they call a war and no one shows up? If the men and the women just say, no, we're not doing this.
Right.
It's barbaric. We're not going to go out and kill someone else,
Yeah.
and if the antidote that is not, an eye for an eye, because that does make the whole world blind. Gandhi said it. It's true. We're seeing that now. Wasn't World War II supposed to end all wars? And well, did it? No.
Okay. Well, Armistice Day was the mother's holiday to remind everyone of the atrocities of World War One.
That's
That was
right.
supposed to be the end of World
Yes.
War One, and it's turned into this day where we honor the killers.
I
And
it's-
you can't blame the killers because they're just doing what they're told to do. But like you said, I love that. If we all knew that it was not a solution, we wouldn't go there.
That's
But
right.
because there are so many who are raised like I was, believing that they don't matter and their opinion doesn't matter and they're not worthy and they don't know any better. And then we will have an army. We will have people to what's that word? Conscript, or I've not used that word before, obviously, but to rally against whatever the strongest voices causes.
That's right.
But if you have that inner knowing of who we are and that we're connected to everyone, and just because we have different color of skin doesn't mean we are not brothers and sisters.
Exactly. I mean, if you
Why
go,
would we do that?
you go to a nursery garden, all the different plants and flowers, as far as I know, they're not all fighting each other because one is a red rose and a purple rose and it is a dahlia or a tulip. And again, this stuff sounds simplistic. However, life is simple and we've done a great job of complicating everything, and it really does stem from the belief in that we're separate, the belief in two big powers. And yet we say, in scripture, it says Almighty God. Well, you can't have Almighty God and then also be serving, another quote power. Either it's almighty or it's not, so it just, we've complicated everything so much, and to the point where, well, as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, we either learn to love one another or we will self-destruct. We will destroy each other. And I believe he's right. And so in my life, I try to take a stand for love, so that when a discord does erupt, it always starts with me looking at, well, where did that come from within me? And sometimes I don't even have to know where it came from. It's like, okay, that's within me. And it's now I'm seeing it reflected in my experience. So let me be accepting of it, heal it, be willing to let it heal, to be transformed, transmuted, and if there's any residual work that I need to do, to be willing to do it. To be willing to do it. And it doesn't mean that if someone really has taken action that's harmful, that they get away with it. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the harmful action doesn't go away by my also taking another harmful action. It just doesn't. Two wrongs will never make a right, ever.
So true, so true, so true. And I've personally come to that conclusion in a powerful way that I actually have already shared this with my sister. In a conversation a couple of weeks ago, but and I know this is anchoring Black History Month, but I'm going to qualify by saying that, if we want not to have months that honor the people who have been treated, subpar, then it doesn't start with how we treat other people. It starts with what we believe about ourselves and the way we relate to other people. And a huge light went on for me because I'm really good. My work is about talking about I'm one of the 7 out of 10 people who've had childhood trauma and how it's important to forgive your mother or whoever it was that abused you and my husband and, the big people. I have a practice and I know how to forgive so that I have my life again. So I'm not hating them, which is deep roots, right?
Yes.
Most of us that have had childhood trauma. But I didn't realize this whole thing about, well, you have to detach with love and you have to draw boundaries and you have to make sure that people like that don't hurt you again. The smaller slights, the smaller things that someone insults you or someone treats you or talks behind your back or humiliates you in public. All those smaller things. I was holding those boundaries so strong that my life became just a series of little boundaries that were just as big as a giant boundary.
Yes.
And I didn't even understand that's what I was doing until this one huge thing blew up. And I've been sitting with that pain for it's one of those, the straw that breaks the camel back in a good way. But I had developed all of these defense mechanisms, one of them being MSU University, making shiitake up, right? So when I believed someone had done me wrong, then I would see them do something and automatically I would go, oh yeah, they're doing it again. Gotta make sure they're out of my life or don't want to have contact with them. And then that would lead to, well, I'll show them or, I'm going to withdraw my attention, blah, 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 blah. And all of that coping mechanisms to protect myself. And that's the bottom line here. If all of us didn't have so many coping mechanisms to protect ourselves from who? From what?
That's right.
Everyone else is just a reflection of humanity with their own, fears and hopes and dreams. There's nothing to protect, to push people away, to stop seeing people, to stop communicating, to stop loving, to stop. And so for me, that was just this giant, what have I done to myself? I'm limiting the love into my life by keeping anyone and everyone who I believed, my BS, my belief system, that they had harmed me in some way in the past. So this happened a couple of months ago, and Michael had said, that very poignant point in his talk about, himself going through some learning about receiving love and realizing that there's really nobody to hate. There's really, even the one that you really, really, really don't like, right? There's still no reason. And to come from love. So I've been doing the CFL now for at least 4 or 5 weeks, like every day. I'm going to come from love, no matter who it. And of course, the friendly universe brings all those annoying people. I've been annoyed forever or for whatever, and right in front of me. And I'm able to say, hi, I'm not going to name names, but, hi, and actually look at them through the eyes of love, through the eyes of coming from love.
Yes.
No matter what. And my, when I feel like, I'm melting. It's just beautiful. And so if you just tuned in, hi, Orville Nation, streaming in from either Spain or New York. And Mommy's here, and we're talking about anchoring Black History Month through individual transformation. I think that's what we're talking about. At least that's what I'm talking about. I'm so glad that you're here. My very special guest is my satellite sister, Akuyoe Graham. She's the founder of Spirit Awakening. If you want something to support that is actually making a difference in changing systems that keep mistreated, I would say, populations in our country, juvenile youth in particular, then go and look at spiritawakening.org. It's a fantastic organization that Akuyoe started many years ago, accidentally, or hashtag accidentally. Not accidentally. Orville loves your name.
Oh, thank you.
What does Akuyoe mean?
Akuyoe means blessed woman. It's a Ghanaian name. I was born in Ghana, West Africa, and on a Wednesday. And so Akuyoe is one of the names you can have in my tribe, the Gas. And actually my father's tribe, it's from my father's tribe, the Ewe tribe. And Akuyoe means blessed woman. So.
Beautiful. And she is. Absolutely. And I love the fact I got to go to Ghana.
That's right.
I remember what year. It was the most colorful nation
right?
in the world. The most colorful nation. And I love the fact that the Ghana means with God.
Yes. Yes.
And what a blessing that is.
Right.
The downside was I got to also go, I mean, it was an upside, but go to the port where were sent.
Elmina Castle.
The door of no return.
Yes.
That was so powerful. So powerful. I'm getting chills again. So we are anchoring Black History Month. We're talking about a number of things that are keeping us from honoring all and what we can do. And we're advocating self-love first and foremost, so that we know who we really are. There's really nothing in other people to be afraid of. This whole fear, let's talk about that for a second. Fear mongering, or if you notice how leaders rally support, they will go to the common denominator of, and I'll give you the best example I know, MAGA. They anchor their message in making America great again means going back to a place where you're protected and people of color are not going to steal from you or hurt from you. There's going to be order in the streets. That is the vision, which is not a vision of a place. That's
That's
you want
right.
to take it back that way? Okay. Whites only, blacks only, segregation. I mean, really, if you want to go back to that day.
And women were barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen.
And they had articles in the magazine telling a woman how to be a perfect wife and meet your man with a martini at the door. It's true.
Yeah.
That was the advertising. Yeah. So at the risk of getting political, it is, I'm really tired of hearing all the good things that were done in the name of discrimination.
That's right.
So.
And Black history is global history. It's American history. It's global history. It's planetary history. Because we do. Black people don't exist in a vacuum. We're not off somewhere by ourselves. It is global history, and it's astounding. What makes America really great is the diversity. It's all the brilliant ideas from all over the world that are here in this country. And every race that is in America has contributed to its greatness, to its power, its strength. Every race.
Yes.
We all have the gifts that we give, and since it is Black History Month, and you talked about going to the castle in Ghana, then you see just the resilience of the African people that were brought here, Black people, just the strength to have endured what we've endured, through slavery, enslavement, through Jim Crow, through all the ways and means, that were constructed to really kill us. And yet here we are. So that's the resiliency of the spirit that indwells, imbues, and animates each of us. And you can look at, the same thing, with our beloved Asians, our Asian brothers and sisters. Look what happened, to the Japanese people. You can just go through all the races, and each of us, we have extraordinary gifts that come to fruition, and we've all been challenged and abused in one way or another. And so what is so heartbreaking about messages that try to keep us separate and apart is that it misses the point of the strengths of each of us that we bring to the table, if you will. The beauty, the uniqueness of each race that, that has made this country what it is, and the areas where each race has to grow as well, because that's all a part of it too. So
yes, absolutely. The Irish built so much of America.
That's right.
Right. My short film, I'm gonna have to send you a link. I don't know if you've seen, actually it's not a short film. This is the docu-film I made with Caldwell Williams.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
His grandparents were born slaves on a plantation. His grandfather was the product of a slave woman and the plantation owner. Wow. And he went to UCLA, couldn't get a job. And he came on the show and I couldn't get him to be angry at white people, at all the things that he had, because he says it's not about white privilege. It's not about white versus Black. And so he's 90 now. And so he wanted to leave a legacy. So I produced a film of the conversation with him. And what he says is exactly what we're saying today, that it is all about our ability to understand how important we are in all of humankind so that we don't get conscripted and rallied into hating other races.
That's right.
And being, if we're all smart enough to understand what powers are doing or saying and where they're trying to lead, then we won't go. And then we would have the vision of what you said when they say, let's go to war. And people go, oh, not doing that.
Not doing that. That's right.
There's no solution there.
That's
because
right.
I remember a film that I watched, and it was given awards and stuff about, how we killed Osama bin Laden or one of the, terrorists has killed a terrorist. And I remember watching the kill scene and the children of that person and watching in horror as their father was executed and thinking to myself, and now they have a reason to come back and take down the World Trade Center or whatever it is, right? Because that's what you said. When every bad reaction has another bad reaction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
it's
just
no
the way
solution. It is no solution. I think, one of the thing about America is that it is a great country. I love this country, and there are problems as there are anywhere, and I think part of it, because as we were speaking, I just thought of the actress Lily Gladstone, who I'm so happy is being recognized for extraordinary work. The actress in Killers of the Flower Moon, the Native American, the first Native American actress.
This is a Native American earring.
To receive this kind of, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
She's the first Native American actress to receive this kind of, recognition, acknowledgement, and I'm hoping she'll win the Academy Award. What happened to the Native Americans, on this soil, the quote unquote real Americans, you
Yes.
know, and so there's a lot of healing that has to take place. And I think, again, going back to what we said at the beginning, someone has to be willing to say, you know, I'm going to take the step towards forgiveness. You know, otherwise we're just going to keep on and keep on and keep on hurting each other. And we can't afford that anymore. The planet, you know, what we've done to the planet, literally, you know, the way we hurt the planet that has been entrusted to our care. And if we want generations to enjoy this extraordinary planet, then we each have to do our part.
Yeah.
You know, everyone has to do, we can all do something. We can't do everything.
No.
However, each of us can do something.
Yes.
We can take a stand for love. We can, you know, do some composting. We can, you know, whatever it takes as a contribution to really loving not only ourselves, each other, and the planet, the literal planet on which we live, that is just been entrusted to us. And our time here is so quick.
Yeah.
It's so quick.
Yeah, absolutely. That dash is, you know, it's a dash.
Yeah.
And time is non-renewable energy. So if you've just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on in studio, it is Take My Advice. I'm not using a Get Bounce with Dr. Marissa, the morning show, and it is Monday. Instead of mental health matters Mondays. This was a good day for Akuyo to be able to come on, and I wanted to bless our studio with her presence again. She was the co-host of my very special series that is on my YouTube channel called It's Not Black and White, or Is It? And if you want to look at the ways in which we can heal the black and the white and the race relations, that's a good series to take a look at it. And it's very similar to what we're talking about today. It all starts with yourself. It all starts with the way that we think, our BS, our belief systems about ourselves and each other. And Orville Nation, there's much divisiveness hidden in sheep's clothing. Absolutely. And in orange hair. Sorry, our time is short. We have to all get along. Yeah. And you know, I do a talk called Why Can't We Just Get Along? And then I'll say, because we can't, and I'll go sit down. And it's very funny. But the fact is, it does take work. We don't naturally get along. We have, you know, prejudice is taught, right? It is a part of but it's very easily taught because we look for differences. That's how we're made up. It's part of survival. In the old days with woolly mammoths, we had to be pay attention to something different because it might kill us. But there's no woolly mammoths around. Humankind, right? Emphasis on kind. And so, if we want to keep this melting pot from becoming a boiling over mess of a pot, we have to take the action. And I'm going to say, piggybacking on your, you know, what we can do for the next 30 days, I'd like us to all commit to drive-by compliments. Very easy to do, but you cannot give a constructive criticism until you've given 7 compliments. It can be to different people. Drive-by is because you don't wait to see their reaction of shock or horror or whatever it is. You just drive by and say, Akuyo, you look so beautiful. And that's it. That's it.
Keep going.
7 to 1. 7 to 1. If we did that for 30 days, let's see if we can't create enough energy just within our little hula hoop to begin affecting the butterfly wings in the Amazon or whatever that analogy is.
I'm in.
Okay. I'm in. Orville Nation, I think that he will probably, disclosure will shed light on Get Along years. Yeah. So PJ is his actual name. He has a huge sphere of influence. So I would encourage you to share that. And I'm getting a sign. 5 minutes as usual. That's all that's left.
Wow.
If you're just tuning in now, you can get this entire broadcast. You can watch and listen on my YouTube TV channel. And I'm very grateful. I'm like almost 310,000 views now. So I know y'all are listening. I know y'all are, supporting positivity, loving, peaceful, the good side message. I will, my final word, and then I'm going to give you final word, is make sure that the majority of our time is spent looking at what is working. You can also get lost in that rabbit hole of what's wrong with everything. As we have been saying, there's things wrong with America. But as she anchored so well, you love America. I love America. I was in the first group to become American after 9/11 because I was born in Canada. So it never mattered to me if I was American until then. But not because I wanted to avenge what happened in 9/11. But it was a wake-up call that I had to anchor myself in a place that I could have a platform for love, peace, joy, harmony, and coming from love.
Beautiful.
Your final word.
If I may, I'd like to let your listeners know that Spirit Awakening Foundation, we have a mentoring leaders program for teens and young adults that takes place Mondays and Wednesdays in Los Angeles at the historic Crenshaw Fire Station, which is on Crenshaw Boulevard by Slauson. They can send an email to info@spiritawakening.org to get more information. It's free. We offer free meals, financial aid, and stipends. We go on retreats with the young people, and it's all complimentary of the organization. So it's a beautiful space where young people can come and be authentically themselves. We guide them with meditation. We have a lot of arts practices, visual arts and writing and music and all kinds of wonderful things. So, she went on the website. Great. We have to put all that on the website. It's not up there yet, but it will be by end of day today. But that is our website. That's right.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, where's my Pluto? There's so many things. I'm serious. In addition,
you'll see your logo there. Is it in there? Maybe it's on the newsletters. Yeah, I think it's in the newsletters. Okay. You'll get a newsletter today, and we have all of our logos because Dr. Marissa is one of our sponsors that we are deeply grateful for. So every newsletter that goes out, your logo is there, Dr. Marissa.
I didn't know that. Yeah. That's so awesome.
I'll send you a newsletter so you can look and see. Yeah.
I just love it when I don't even know stuff that is positive about me.
That's right. And it's out in the world.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, we are, I believe, out of time. Oh, yeah, 1 minute. I'm so grateful that you've all tuned in. Thank you, Akuyo, my satellite sister. And we call each other satellite because we're both doing stuff around the world, each on our own, but we beam on each other all the time. Thanks for joining us today. Tomorrow, come back. This is a show about hope and happiness. Dr. Marissa reporting live from her loving room. Go to spiritawakening.org. It's all about balance. Peace in. Peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.